At the bottom of the table are Eritrea, Turkmenistan and North Korea. Reporters Without Borders classify the lack of press freedom in those countries as very serious. Sudan is also in that category. But last year's mass protests that led to the ousting of President Omar al-Bashir have resulted in stronger democratic structures and reduced restrictions for journalists. As a result, the country ranks 16 points higher on the index than last year. Countries that made similar improvements include Malaysia and Ethiopia. While poorer ratings are given to the West African state of Benin, which fell 17 places, and Haiti, down 21. The Caribbean nation is struggling with an ongoing political crisis and violent protests. In the past year, journalists there were repeatedly attacked. One was killed. The United States ranks at 45th place this year. After 2 years of decline, the situation has slightly improved over the last year. But Reporters Without Borders cite the US as a worrying example of hatred incited against journalists by elected politicians, with verbal and physical attacks against reporters alarmingly frequent. Germany ranks at 11th place, also up 2 places from last year. The main reason for this is a decline in the numbers of attacks against journalists. But Reporters Without Borders say they're still concerned for the protection of journalistic sources. The countries ranking highest for press freedom remain in Scandinavia: Denmark, Finland and Norway.
Now, the report also shows that the Philippines has dropped 2 places to 136 out of 180 countries. And someone who knows what that means is journalist and author Maria Ressa, who's had several run-ins with the government. She joins me now from Manila. Maria, very good to have you on the program. What is it like being a journalist in the Philippines now?
I think the first thing is that the world seems like it's never going to be the same again. We're in our 6th week of lockdown, and President Duterte signed an emergency powers law on March 24th that gives him tremendous power, including an insertion that essentially could allow authorities to jail anyone for a month, 2 months, and fine them about $20,000.
I mean, you are somebody who has experience with this, don't you? I mean, there are, at last count, I think you had, 7 cases, if that's the correct count, against you from the Philippine government. I mean, are you afraid that the Philippines government is using the coronavirus crisis to gain more control over the media?
Look, I think that what we're seeing is a government that is trying very hard to deal with a pandemic. This is, like I said, 6 weeks in, right? And we have to decide, the government has to decide whether it will stay or lift this kind of lockdown on April 30th. They have their hands full. Having said that, 30,000 people have been arrested for quarantine violations. And then we had a former congressman and his team who were out distributing relief goods arrested and charged with sedition. So these 2 things are going hand in hand. Yes, journalists, more than ever, the mission is much more important, because not only are you trying to hold government to account, you're also trying to make sure that our citizens have the right information. And at the same time, to tell them that we need to keep asking for facts, right? So I think in a strange way, we've been under attack for 4 years in Rappler. This is an extension of that, but it is also a very different time where our entire nation, our entire world is under attack.
Do you think that moving forward, things are going to get worse for you in the Philippines and for media freedom in the Philippines before they get better?
I think there are 2 problems that we're going to have to face post-lockdown. The first is really, can independent news groups survive this, right? Our business, more than at any other time, is under attack. Cash flow is king. You're going to see a recession, if not a depression, in many countries around the world. So that's the first step. The second one is we've got to go out and do our jobs even more, because our people need this.
Maria Ressa, pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.